Most of us have stood in the long line, given our personal information and patiently waited for our Aadhaar cards. The purpose of this exercise was to help the government keep track of our huge population and save the country a ton of money. The journey to give this scheme some legislative backing has been a tedious one. Let's start from the beginning. Over the years, the government has made several attempts to identify every Indian. But since our population is large and scattered, it was very difficult to give everyone IDs to access basic things. To make matters worse, the government had no way to keep track of their initiatives and distribution systems. As you can imagine, this became a real problem. And so the UPA government came up with a possible solution, the UID Aadhaar Scheme. They began collecting biometric and demographic data from Indians across the country, and in return, each person received a unique identification number. People could then use this ID for a bunch of things, from enrolling in schools to collecting pensions. Families who had never seen bank accounts or subsidies before could now use their Aadhaar to access these resources. Plus, the government finally had the right kind of information to target and direct their initiatives better. Sounds perfect, right? Sadly, it wasn't. Number one, it was really expensive. Number two, the data collected was not 100% secure. And finally, it made all other forms of ID obsolete. This was when the Supreme Court stepped in to help smoothen out the rough edges of the Aadhaar bill. And that's exactly what the government tried to do in the 2016 Aadhaar Act. In certain situations, the government made provisions to accept alternate forms of ID. They promised to keep a record of every single interaction related to the Aadhaar card and even assured the public that their data would not be shared with anyone. The Aadhaar Act is here to stay, but this doesn't mean people will stop questioning how effective it is. This scheme is only 6 years old and is likely to keep evolving. But for now, this version is better than nothing.